is IGN live at E3 2018, bringing you the biggest and best from E3, and we've got lots more surprises coming up. But first, to help us check out Captain Spirit, let's welcome DONTNOD's Michelle. So what is this game exactly? The trailer just showed up today in the Microsoft conference. People have a lot of questions about it. What is it?
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, we're so excited to be able to present Captain Spirit at this E3. For the past 2 years, we've been working hard on Life is Strange 2 for Square Enix. And while we were working on Life is Strange 2, we developed a lot of characters and stories. And at a point, we've already wanted to give away to the players this shorter story about Chris, about Captain Spirit. So Captain Spirit is a free standalone game that takes place within the Life is Strange universe. It's really the first entry point for the player into what Life is Strange 2 will be. In Captain Spirit, you will find a lot of hints and secrets and clues to the characters, the story of Life is Strange 2.
Yeah.
But it's really a complete game by itself, so it's a full experience of around 2 hours or even more, because there is a lot of replay value, a lot of secrets that the player can find and explore, and you might need to replay the game a few times to experience everything.
So I did see a little bit of it yesterday, and I think it's really sweet and it's really endearing. But can I ask, how would you describe Chris as a character?
Yeah, Chris is a 10-year-old boy who is quite lonely, and like a lot of kids with a vivid imagination, to escape also the reality of his day-to-day life, he likes to pretend he's a superhero, Captain Spirit.
This part's really cute. He's basically talking to a version of himself that he thinks is outside.
Yeah, it's actually, when you play the game, you can discover a lot of different places. You can explore the house, the garden, the treehouse, and by exploring this, you can discover a lot of what kind of imagination Chris is putting into his toys. And so right now he's talking to a small toy that's inside the treehouse that is for him one of his allies, watching over the neighborhood.
We're talking about someone called Snowmancer.
Yeah, because when you play the game...
Snowman, I think.
Yeah, it's a snowman. And for him, it's one of the villains in the band of enemies that is imagining is fighting.
So it's basically, from my understanding, a story that is both about a kid set in the Life is Strange universe, still set in Oregon, who is dealing with some family things, but it's also about him kind of receding into his imagination, seemingly, and pretending to be a superhero.
Yeah. So basically, the structure of the game is like you decide how you want to spend your Saturday morning as Chris. It's Saturday, you can do whatever you want.
This is the first.
And you can, of course, your dad, which you're seeing right now.
Yeah, you see like a little bit of kind of almost conflict between them that gives you an idea of what Chris's situation is.
Yeah, the family has issues that you will discover while playing the game. And so during this Saturday morning, Charles will be watching a basketball game and is not taking a lot of attention to Chris. So the player can really decide however he wants to play this morning. Do we just go outside and play with these toys and try to fight those imaginary monsters? Or do we stay inside and try to help a bit of his dad with, for example, helping with the house? And the way you play this, different ways you can play this morning, you will unlock different relationship with your dad. There is a lot of moments you can spend with your dad that you won't spend with him if you play and if you try to explore more of the imaginary universe.
So is it basically like one small open world where you can only do a certain amount of things depending on the order?
I would say one small narrative sandbox.
Interesting.
And yeah, it's you can explore all the inside of the house, all the garden, the treehouse, and there was a lot of secrets in some of the imaginary worlds of Chris that players can have a glimpse of those in the trailer. I think you have a shot at some moment in some sort of alien planet. That's one place you can go if you find the right clues and the right elements to go there. And so while you're playing as Chris and using your imagination, using your superpower on some elements, you will of course discover a lot of narrative elements of what happened to the family, why there is no mother with Chris and with his dad, why Charles is drinking. You can really find much more clues about that, and it's a blend of playing this bittersweet kid's life and discovering some harsher reality about the world and the adult world.
So for previous Life is Strange fans, what can they look forward to in this experience?
So definitely, like we said in the beginning, this game is the entry point for Life is Strange 2, because it takes place in the same setting, the same timeline, the same universe, and by playing the game, the player will discover secrets about Life is Strange 2. So you can have, there will be some theories, I guess, but I already saw theories on Twitter. But the player will definitely be able to find out a lot of things about what will be in Life is Strange 2. And for the player of Life is Strange 1, there are also some nods to the game, so players can also find links to the first game. But it's really a full story, so that's why we're so happy that we can give it away for free to the players. Because it's a full game, so even if you didn't play Life is Strange 1, even if you don't care about Life is Strange 2, you can really enjoy this game by itself and have a great moment with Chris, with Charles, and all the imagination of Chris.
So why did you decide to release it as a free game?
I would say, why not?
It seems difficult.
I mean, we are really happy that Square Enix allowed us to do that, because for us as creators, I'm working on the game with Raoul Barbet, the director you saw, and it's always great to have our game be able to reach as many players as possible. And what's better to reach many players than to be free, I think. I think also that it's a really good way for players who might sometimes be reluctant to play this kind of narrative game to maybe at least say, it's free, I could try it.
Yeah.
Who knows, maybe I like it. So I hope that a lot of players will try it, and that maybe non-fans of the genre will try to play this game, and maybe they like what they play in it.
So you're sort of hoping it can be a kind of entry point to similar style adventure games for a lot of people.
Yeah, and also hopefully, of course, that players who love Captain Spirit will want to play and discover Life is Strange 2, which we will talk about in a couple of months.
I'm sure everyone's excited about that.
Stay tuned.
So I did want to ask, this is running on a new engine.
Yeah.
What are some of the updates to the tech?
So yeah, it's Life is Strange 1 was on Unreal Engine 3, so now we are on Unreal 4. This allowed us to develop a lot of new tech, like we completely reworked the facial animation system, so we put a lot of time to work on that, so I think it shows. We did also work on a better animation system in itself, like with physics. Right now you don't have your armor, but as Chris, one of the tasks you can do in the game is to create your superhero armor. And for example, there's a lot of movement
now or something.
I think maybe
that might be a little bit later in the demo.
And so we have better movements on the characters, like physics, the cape, some much more moving parts. We also use most of the new and Unreal Engine 4 tech with the lighting, with the physically based rendering. So. Yeah, it's a good step in the right direction to try to evolve the style while still keeping the art direction, the hand painting style. We really wanted the game to look directly like Life is Strange.
Yeah. And one thing that I wanted to ask about that is also an update is you can now, instead of being locked into a dialogue interaction, you can now walk around. You can basically interact with multiple things at once.
Yeah, that's so we still have those moments of stage dialogue, like in Life is Strange 1, but there is a lot of moments in the game where you can walk around, still interact with objects, but also answer someone who just talked to you. For example, when you're in your room, your dad is calling you to get to the breakfast, and you can still be inside, still move, but you can say, I'm coming, or not right now, or also decide to not answer. And we use that several times in the game, and this allows us for a much better flow and naturalism for the dialogue. So you can still be within the game and interact and talk to other people.
Was that something that you wanted to do in Life is Strange 1, but you just were too limited?
Sorry, Pop.
No, I think that's mostly at the end of Life is Strange 1, where you had a lot of sequence in Life is Strange where Max and Chloe were talking while you were working, but you didn't choose the answer, and we were a bit frustrating. Like in those kind of moments, it would have been cool also for the player to decide what Max is saying and why she's moving. So that's why we did that for this game.
Yeah, I think this moment's so cute. I really like that his dad kind of allows him to have this like superhero identity.
And that's, for example, the kind of interaction with your dad that you can completely miss. But you can decide to do it, and there is much more. There is some sort of a timeline in the game, so there are definitely moments that you can miss if you're not at the right moment, at the right place at the right moment. So it will pushes. That's really the idea with this game, the way we did design it, that like some sort of treasure box where you have to dig and to try to get more and more out of it. So hopefully, we hope that the players will want to try it several times, explore different ways of spending your Saturday morning.
Yeah, I definitely feel like it's going to be a thing that, you know, the community will really talk about. Well, if you do this in this order, then you'll get this thing, and I got this thing, and probably a lot of people really scouring for Easter eggs.
Yeah, and we know we are really happy and gifted to have the community of Life is Strange. It's really a great community of players. We know that they love to talk about the game together, to really exchange their experience. So hopefully they will talk about Captain Spirit and say, oh, I did that, did you do that? And try to see more of what can be done in the game.
I just want to mention yesterday as well, when I saw this, I had chosen a mask, but now he's wearing a helmet. So I guess if you choose to get the helmet instead, he puts that on instead. And
yeah, that's actually one of the first thing you do in the game is you're drawing the costume of Captain Spirit. So you're choosing if it's a mask or helmet or what kind of armor and kind of color you want. So it's one of the many small quests you have in the game to build your costume. And of course, it depends on the choice you have in the beginning.
Yeah, it is a very sweet game. The word that I used, my preview is up on IGN.com right now, is endearing. I just found it really endearing. There are a lot of moments that I really smiled at. It makes you feel like a kid on a Saturday morning.
Thanks.
I think that's the intention. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
It is time for a break, but we've got a super secret surprise coming up next. I can't keep it a secret. It's video games. We're going to show you more video games, so don't go anywhere.